Hello, everyone. Welcome to Miss Valley Entertainment News, and my name is Dread. Today, we're going to take a look at and do a reaction to a video by Eckhart's Ladder called This is Horrific News for Star Wars. I have not yet watched the video, so let's jump into it and view this for the first time, you and I together. Once again, welcome to Miss Valley Entertainment News. Let me tell you, your views are appreciated, and you matter to me, because without you, I'm just talking to myself. So thank you all so much for tuning in. And furthermore, if you'd do me the honor of liking the video, leaving a comment, and consider subscribing to the channel. I got to tell you now, because most people will, A, not watch till the end of the video, and B, click off the video and go to something else, even if they liked it, without ever dropping a comment, a like, or a subscription. So there is your your hype for my channel by myself. Now let's get into the video. Let's find my mouse cursor. There it is. One of those days, people. One of those days.
And hello and welcome to another video. Now, this was not the upload I wanted to make to celebrate reaching 1 million subscribers, and we'll talk about that at the end of today's video.
Hey,
but some massive and really unfortunate news today, as we've learned that the Respawn FPS, rumored to be the next Mandalorian game, we talked about that a bit last week, has now been canceled. This is just brutal news. We're coming out of, I don't want to call it a dark period of Star Wars gaming, but a period where I was certainly left wanting for more. What we did get, the Jedi series, Star Wars Squadrons, was excellent, but it really looked like moving forward, we were going to have a healthy slate of Star Wars video games.
I will say that the Respawn stuff is debatable whether or not it's excellent. I know some people enjoyed it. I know others didn't. I myself tried it out. Didn't enjoy. I think it was an excellent story. I think Cal Kestis was an interesting character. I just think the gameplay loop of was terrible. But besides that, some people enjoyed it, so I will give it the fact that it was a commercial success, relative. But whether or not it was this great game or not, I don't know. That's very subjective.
So let's talk about it. And it's a bit ironic that this comes the same day where we not only have renewed interest in the classic Star Wars Battlefront series, but we also just got an excellent re-release of Star Wars Dark Forces, the gameplay you're seeing on screen right now. So let's talk first about today's updates before going into the history of this video game. It's a really tough time for the video game industry right now. Sony just laid off 900 employees, which is massive. Smaller and
it is a tough time for the gaming industry, but it's also a reset. We're still coming out of the COVID era, and because of that, we had gaming companies doing very well during that time, and they expanded studios and hired more people. More studios popped up. Everybody wanted to jump on the money train, and now we're getting a reset back to pre those times era. Is basically what's happening. On top of that, we've had in the last year, although we've had some great games come out, we've also had some very terrible scams come out. We've had some games come out into early access that had no business. So we had some games come out that had no business being out of anything but early access, so clearly weren't finished. We've had some games completely underperform after overhyping. So we're also getting a reset in that sense. That has caused a lot of studios to lose some money. Some bigger studios lose money and to pare down studios. We've had studios bought up and then get pared down. All of this is coming about because, like I say, we've had some massive failures as well as some massive successes. And because some of those failures were not anticipated by the companies who thought they were going to be massive successes, we're getting a reset now too, where we're finding more and more companies, particularly smaller than AAA companies, that are actually listening to fans and finding success that way. But yes, we definitely are going through layoffs, and that is hard for the people in the industry for sure.
Independent studios are cutting jobs as well. In January, Microsoft let go almost 2,000 people across its gaming businesses. Hell, even Twitch, 500 jobs gone down the drain. Today it was announced that unfortunately EA would be joining that club, and they're letting go about 670 employees, 5% of their total staff. What exactly is going on with the video game industry is honestly beyond my knowledge. Overall game sales seem to be fine. I'm guessing.
Okay, I just explained what was going on, Eckhart's Ladder. I'm not sure why this is beyond your knowledge. It just takes a little bit of thinking about the gaming industry and the trends and what's been going on to figure out what's actually happened. I just laid it all out. I'm not a smart man, but I can see what's happening and why things are resetting on a number of levels. That's really not that hard to figure out. All you have to do is sit back with the brain and rationally look at it. Whatever. But I'm not trying to pick on Eckhart. I'm just saying you don't understand why this is happening is really?
Guessing companies overinflated their workforces during the pandemic, and there's probably been a drop in live service spending, but it doesn't really matter. Those people have lost their jobs, and major projects have now been canceled. Looking at EA specifically, they put out a statement which says a lot, honestly, about the future of Star Wars games as developed and produced by them. They say, and I quote, "As a company full of creators and storytellers, we believe in the value of teams innovating together and continue to learn and adopt new ways of collaborating to grow and serve our global communities. Given how and where we are working, we are continuing to optimize our global real estate footprint to best support our business. We are also sunsetting games and moving away from development of future licensed IP that we do not believe will be successful in our changing industry. This greater focus allows us to drive creativity, accelerate innovation, and double down on our biggest opportunities."
So they're saying they don't believe a Star Wars IP will make the money right now, so they're moving away from that. Is that what I'm taking, or did I get off topic? I don't know. If that's what they're saying, well, maybe that's a part of Disney's failures overall, and the backlash by fans against Disney and pretty much everything Disney right now. Maybe that's a large part of why somebody would step back and say, look, I don't know if we can make a successful Star Wars game right now or not. I don't know if we want to take on this IP right now or not because of what's going on with Disney. Because of the continued glaring failures of Disney, we want to take on their product and try to sell it. That could play into things,
including our owned IP, sports, and massive online communities. So what I'm getting from that statement is they don't necessarily like playing with Star Wars. I've got to wonder what the Disney and Star Wars licensing and profit sharing agreement is like.
And maybe Disney is asking them to put things into their game they don't want to put into their game too. Would you ever believe that interference from Disney would F with creators trying to use their property? Oh, what a shock that would be, right? I mean, like, we haven't seen that over the last 10 or 15 years constantly.
I can only speculate, but it's fairly insane to me that we're talking about what was leaked to be a Mandalorian game, one of the most popular elements of Star Wars, a game type people have been asking for decades from a company like Respawn, and EA obviously believes that the Respawn talent and their development money can be spent better elsewhere, which is wild to me. This decision seems like it also came out of nowhere, as True on Twitter pointed out that Respawn were still hiring for their FPS game today. This seems like Star Wars Battlefront 2, the kind of thing where it was up in the air and the bigwigs decided it was going to go this way and the game is basically done. Originally, this was just a rumor. We knew that EA was canceling projects. We didn't know what specifically, but IGN has confirmed that Respawn's Star Wars game is no more. The article, which I'll link down below, has a quote from EA's president of entertainment, and it says, "It's always hard to walk away from a project, and this decision is not a reflection of the team's talent. talent, tenacity, or passion they have for the game.
It's
Giving
not
fans
our
the next
fault.
installment of the iconic franchises they want is the definition of blockbuster storytelling and the right place to focus. Whatever that means. I don't know. The article goes on to say, and I quote, IGN understands that the team previously working on this game will be largely reassigned to other projects, including Apex, Iron Man, Black Panther, and Jedi, for which EA has confirmed a third installment. The Star Wars Jedi franchise will continue despite EA's move to focusing on owned IP, and EA is said to remain focused on its long-standing relationship with Disney and Marvel. I mean, obviously not that focused. Last time I checked, Star Wars is a part of Disney. Also completely up in the air now is the fate of the Star Wars strategy game being worked on by EA. It's been described as perhaps a take on XCOM, but for the Star Wars universe. I think maybe they haven't even decided what's happening. It's really sad to go back and look at the initial press release. I have a lot of faith generally in Respawn as a developer. Peter Hirschman is the game director there. He was the VP of development of LucasArts, and he worked on the original Battlefront games as well. And what really sucks is that this is another Star Wars 1313 situation. All of the work, all of the progress made towards this game, it will go nowhere. Like, it will be abandoned. Other teams will not be able to come back and work on it. It's gone to the wind. I just don't understand this. I don't know. Star Wars fans want to play Star Wars video games. I don't know how else to describe it. Single player games like the Star Wars Jedi series have sold extremely well. AA games as well, like Star Wars Squadrons, they've also earned apparently enough to justify DLC when it wasn't even planned. It just sucks because we get glimpses of so many interesting projects, whether it was Project Ragtag from Visceral, Star Wars 1313 from back in the day. This upcoming, well, not upcoming anymore, this canceled game was described as a movement-focused Mandalorian game with a linear narrative. That sounds great. I don't even know what to say. Like, this just stinks. There's so much potential.
I mean,
for
you
Star
say
Wars.
it sounds great, but I mean, the fact is we didn't really have that much news about it, and as much as it's in development, it sounds like they put together a team and really weren't very far into it, or they decided to pull the plug for whatever reason. We may never know the reason for it, but it certainly was something that intrigued a lot of people for sure. I do think even though you say Star Wars and attach Star Wars to it and use Star Wars characters or whatever in it, you know, I think gamers are still cautious enough nowadays that the vast majority of people would still be like, I want to see the gameplay before I make any decisions on when I'm going to purchase it. I want to see what it plays like. I want to see some reviews. I don't know that 100% of people who are Star Wars fans are just going to leap into this game without ever waiting to judge it first and just spend their money on it. I don't know if that's as much a thing anymore in gaming as it used to be. I think gamers are a little more cautious. I think gamers have been burned themselves and seen numerous other gamers burned around them. That we're not always sure nowadays if we just want to throw our money at something without knowing exactly what it is first. And that, I think, is a good thing. You got to earn the gamer's trust now. It's starting to get there. It's starting to get there, and I hope that trend continues, where the gaming companies have to earn the trust of the gamers in order to sell their product. Because that is a win-win for everyone when that happens. It more easily weed out the bad companies and the ones who don't want to listen to people without wasting our money and encouraging them to keep going, encouraging others to do the same. So that's my thought on that.
We were in a golden age of gaming at one point. Star Wars fans want to play different types of games. They want strategy. They want shooters. I'm glad that the Jedi series is continuing, but this should just be one of many Star Wars games now coming out. I'm glad we moved away from EA being the sole developer, but I mean, at this point, it does sort of feel like they're throwing their cards away and storming off, having a tantrum. Star Wars has just shown an inability to get anything done, and it sucks. Anyway, I don't have much more to say about this. I do want to take a second and thank you.
All right, so you got to thank people for his 1 million subscribers. Eckhart Slider, congratulations on 1 million subscribers. Most of us out there in YouTube land can only hope to get there one day, but I'm pretty realistic. It's not happening. The gaming industry is a very, very um, difficult on here on YouTube and online in general to make serious money at. It's very, very difficult because there's such high competition because gaming is so popular. And unfortunately, there's only so many viewers to go around for channels like this, for Eckhart's Ladder, and all the other channels out there. There's only so many eyeballs and so much time. And when you're competing with so many other people trying to make money off it too, I think it's better to take the approach that I do. Do it because you love it. Hope to maybe one day make some money, but realistically, don't count on it. Don't make that your goal, and don't focus on it, and just let whatever happens happens. I'm quite happy. We've got 300, I think 397 currently subscribers to the channel. Let me tell you what, means the world to me. Um, do I have channels out there that have more subscribers? Yes, I do, but I don't have many subscriber bases that are as good as the ones here at Miss Valley Entertainment News. We weeded out a lot of the people who just come to complain and bitch and troll, which has been great. And we've got a really good group of people here who like to hear gaming news, apparently like to listen to me, which thank you so much. I appreciate it. I don't know why, but you guys seem to like listening to me more than I do. And it's just a great place for people to come and hang out and have your say. Be able to hear what I'm saying and then jump into the conversation and give your take on it. And I really do appreciate all of you for that because you are what makes this channel go. So yes, very, very appreciative of you all. And I hope you all have a great day. And I hope this Star Wars news is not too terrible for you. From Miss Valley Entertainment News, my name is Dread. See y'all later. Bye-bye.